One of the most controversial events in Minecraft is the mob vote. There's been some promising ones and some not so promising ones. So with the event right around the corner, in this video I'm going to be ranking all of the mobs that have been part of the mob votes over the years and will probably end up surprising you with number 1. So let's get into it. For those who don't know, since 2017, Mojang has held mob votes during Minecraft Live where viewers can vote between 3 new mob candidates to be added to the game. Only the winner gets fully implemented and modeled, while the runner-ups are shelved and may be added in later updates. So, as you may already know, this pretty much starts an entire civil war in the community every year, including this year's vote. Heck, there's even posters being made boycotting the mob vote entirely, with countless videos criticizing it. However, there have only been 5 actual mob votes so far, so I'll be ranking all 16 mobs from worst to best based on how exciting, unique, and useful I think they could have been. However, I'm not including the biome votes as there were no fully fledged mobs promised in the possible updates. Kicking off the list at number 16 is the glow squid. For obvious reasons, this mob shouldn't even have won the vote to begin with, but let's put that aside. The glow squid might be the most useless and least interactive mob in general. All it really does is glow, and if you kill it, you get a glow ink sack, which helps you make glowing item frames. Like, really, Mojang, did you really think this was the best you could have came up with? How did we possibly let this mob Oh yeah, that's right. At number 15 we have the glare. This little creature's purpose would have been flying to the dark areas and caves, illuminating them to help players light up spaces for spawning. However, with the F3 feature, light level can be displayed on blocks, with players easily seeing their light levels already, making the glare redundant and pointless. Not only that, but to prevent mobs from spawning, all blocks must have a light level of at least 1, meaning this mob is useless if you have torches. Next at number 14 is the Great Hunger. This mouth monster would have been an ambient mob that roamed around and grabbed any items on the ground to eat them. While having an item gobbling mob sounds fun in theory, in normal survival situations it likely would have been extremely annoying and frustrating to have your items constantly swallowed up. And Jeb also noted that the mob would be able to remove enchantments from your item, basically making it the worst thing a mob could possibly do after spending hours leveling up your tools. Unless it was a very rare spawn, this would have probably been too detrimental to normal gameplay. Coming in at number 13 is the Moo Bloom. This was a cute cow variant covered in flowers that would have interacted with bees and perhaps provided some sort of honey related mechanic. However, bees have already had a lot of depth in terms of honey and honeycomb and honey block crafting. The Moo Bloom sounds neat and all, but it's a little unnecessary when we already have flowery cows in the form of mushrooms. It seems a little too similar to existing elements in the game without bringing anything really new to the table. At number 12 we have the Monster of the Ocean Depths. It was said that this giant squid-like animal would pull players down into the deep ocean. Using its large mouth, it would move across the ocean and it would have been the scariest ocean mob instead of these annoying drown. But I mean, at least we have the warden, so that's something, but it just can't really swim. The reason why this mob is ranked low is because, well, people complain a lot. So if it was anything like the warden, players would have never gone near it or even tried to fight it unless it guarded some deep sea treasures. Coming in at number 11 is the Phantom. This flying mob was the first mob vote winner and is still probably the biggest flop in mob vote history given other choices. Phantoms swoop down and attack any players who haven't slept in 3 days, making it hard to explore your world if you don't have a bed. Even though phantoms drop membranes, which can be used for slow falling potions which are handy in the dragon fight, their cons outweigh their pros. Not to mention, hardcore players have no real use for a bed except for avoiding the phantoms in the first place, making them just a pain to deal with. Making the top 10 is the Sniffer. This mysterious mob in the overworld actually made it into the game. Its main purpose is to pick up seeds. Sure, it can get you nice flowers to add to your Minecraft base, but beside that function, this cute looking mob doesn't serve much purpose for it to be higher in the list. Not to mention all the backlash this mob faced when initially added. At number 9 is the Penguin, which, depending on when you're watching this video, is a possible winner for the 2023 mob vote. The clumsy mob will be found in the Stony Shore biome, which I don't get since they should be found in snowier biomes, but they function function a lot like dolphins do. They give a speed boost to players when they're riding a boat, so it's not entirely useless, but if this applied to riding boats in general, that would make traveling on ice boats literally insane. I mean, this is already fast enough, however, I bet this would be the new fastest way of transportation in the game over the elytra. At number 8 is the Iceologer. This Illager variant would have used ice attacks and spawned in snowy mountain biomes. Having a mini boss type mob living in the mountains could have made exploration there more exciting, challenging, and rewarding. Facing its attacks would force players to gear up properly before scaling the peaks. And coupling this with powdered snow, it would be a fun challenge to get to the top of the tallest mountain. After all, when have you heard of someone climbing Mount Everest with ease? Yeah, not many. Entering at number 7 is the Rascal. This small subterranean scavenger would have rewarded players who chased it through mini games of hide and seek and mine shafts. Finding it multiple times would have been able to level you up and earn cool items. I love mobs that encourage exploration in the game and bring an extra element of interactivity. The Rascal would have sounded super fun to seek out, and the mini games would have provided extra entertainment in the survival experience, and the rewards themselves would have been pretty nice. At number 6 is the Tuff Golem. This cute walking statue mob made of tuff would have grabbed items and displayed them as it wandered around. It sounds perfect for adding life and personality to builds or your base through little item showcases scattered around your area. Having these mini collectors showing off artifacts and treasures in farms, villages, and bases seems like it would have brought so much charm. I would much rather prefer this mob over just showing off my items in some item frame because it would have seemed a lot cooler. In 5th place is the Allay. This fairy-like mob is actually in the game and flies around collecting items specified by the player and bringing it back to them. Having little helpers that retrieve materials, sort unstackable items, and deliver goods across distances is a great help. Although there have been not many extensive amounts of uses for the Allay, at the very least it's extremely cute following the player around. Coming in at number 4 is the Copper Golem. This cute golem made of copper would have randomly pushed copper buttons and brought some randomized movement to builds. Having an easy way to build randomizers and make automated statue contraptions sounds really fun, but I don't think it would have fundamentally changed much about gameplay overall. It's still a neat idea and different from any other mob in the game currently, and it would have been the first mob that directly interacts with redstone, meaning Mumbo Jumbo would have had some real fun with this. Making it on the podium at the 3rd spot is the Armadillo. This funny looking mob is also in this year's vote and will be found in the Savannah biome, which needs a long overdue update. Beside bringing life to the biome, the mob would revolutionize PvP forever. Okay, hear me out, it would add dog armor. Like, what player wouldn't want that in the game? Sure, mods are nice and all, but not everyone can play modded, so having this feature would definitely bring some excitement to the game. And who knows, maybe the armor could be enchanted or trimmed with armor trims. Coming in at number 2 is the Hovering Inferno King. This fiery nether mob would have been a new boss that ruled over the blazes in the Nether Fortress, which keep in mind would have been in the game instead of the Phantom, but you guys just had to ruin it. Defeating it would have given some players some good loot, and we're not going by the Warden standards, which only drops a pointless Sculpt Catalyst blocks and it has 500 health points. Having a new challenging Nether boss with rare rewards would have been an amazing addition and provided more lore to the game. It also could have provided a more efficient method of obtaining renewable blaze rods as a farmable drop, but unfortunately the mob has remained in Minecraft Dungeons, which I don't even think anyone plays. But the number 1 mob vote pick in my opinion is the Crab. This small mob was the first mob revealed in this year's mob vote, and it's actually pretty useful. This mob would be found in the mangrove swamp biome, and it would drop the crab claw. Let me ask you, out of all the things that you do in survival Minecraft, what do you do the most? Build structures, mine blocks, explore your world? Well, it's likely you spend a large portion of your time building, and the claw allows players to place blocks further than normal. Not only would this make building faster, and it would also make god bridging a lot easier for someone who sucks at Bed Wars, or in other words, myself. So those are my rankings for all the mobs from Minecraft live votes so far. Let me know how you would rank them differently in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more Minecraft updates.